Here's Ghxst here, and welcome back to some more Pheonix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. This is part 6. If you guys remember where we left off, we are talking to Mia, not Maya, Mia, her sister that died in the last game. I guess Maya conjured her up and using her spiritual powers or something, and now she's back. She's looking as fine as she did in the last game. But before I continue talking about that, we got more information out of Eenie Meenie. Apparently the girl that died in the car accident was her older sister who was overworked by Dr. Gray, the owner of the clinic. So yeah, that's what this thing she was trying to hide. And speaking of hiding, Mia's got three things she's hiding from us. So she knows some things that we don't. She probably knows who the real murderer is. So, and we still don't know. We're about to go into trial, and we don't even know who the murderer is. It's an interesting change compared to the last game, but this is confusing. But if you guys like to see and want more Pheonix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to the video. June 1st, 9:48 a.m. District Court Defense Lobby number 3. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his superior this time. Or successor. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, and all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. Right, even more worse than him. It's no good. Mystic Maya. Pearly? You should cover up. Or you showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. So she said they had to have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran! Jeez, you're 8 years old. You could have got a nap, dude. We would have been in a much worse situation. That, I can't... Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man. She's been running all day. You ain't tired? Take a Lunchable and sit down. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. That's what happens when y'all raise sheltered children. She's never been to the city a day in her life. She don't know anything. Y'all need to get her out the house more. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? Like what? Touch you? Bro! Stop it. At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? Oh, jeez. He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend.
Objection!
I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end.
Objection! Objection!
It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. Don't know what? Am I missing something? I thought y'all were good. He, he, he's gone, and he's not coming back. What are you talking about? Did I miss something? D how did the last game end? Did he retire? If that's the case, I don't remember that part, but we're gonna keep going. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? What happened to Edgeworth? Yo, Nick, say something. Who's that? Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? That's your son? Or a daughter? What is with this kid? Ahem, Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Pheonix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Yes, I'm actually very shocked. I assumed you would be a man, if I'm being honest. Hold on. So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I'm Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country on one sole reason. Revenge. Is that a whip? We into kink play here? What's going on? Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? Don't be mad at us because your father was shady. If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. Wow, okay. This is going to be a very interesting trial. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Right, we are not into slave kinks, ma'am. Stop it. Ah! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Sorry, y'all. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor, does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but the defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor, because the plea justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Pheonix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father, like daughter, I suppose. Aw, shit. Before I continue with this, is her name in the court record in the portfolios? Yep. How old is she? She's 18! How old is Von Carver? Bro! Okay. Okay. Interesting. Golly. Became a prosecutor in Germany at age 13, a prodigy who has never known defeat. You're about to join your father in hell, bitch. Anyways. Witness. Your name and occupation. I don't think you're a bitch, bro. I'm sorry. I don't even usually say that word. Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They, well, were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite a look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Ahem. Anyways, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Ah, and that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. Floor plans, crime scene, a diagram of the channeling chamber. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. Okay. A direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Are we gonna get an autopsy thing soon too? The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. We didn't see no gun nowhere. Or a knife for that matter. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Okay, I can read this or later. Dr. Gray's autopsy report: after being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point blank. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Okay, nice. Cause of death. Get my drink in. Okay, hold on. Can I read this? Okay, I can't. Okay, this is the layout of the crime scene. And this is all they say about the autopsy report. Okay. Cause of death was shot to the forehead. It was shot from point blank range. Before the victim was shot, he was stabbed in the chest. It was severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish off. Okay. Nothing sounds out of place so far. I should try to learn more about the murder weapons for now. I agree. The direct was a pistol shot. I'm gonna press this real quick. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim. Now, why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints. Whoop, there were fingerprints? Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faye's, were also on the grip, sir. This is bad. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hand there. Okay. Shot was fired from point blank range. Point blank, huh? So about how far away was it? It's anywhere from between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know it was a shot at point blank? Tisk, 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 Mr. Wright. Mr. Pheonix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn in all areas is always left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there was definitely some gunpowder burn left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. But before the victim was shot, he was stabbed in the chest. Okay. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife? This man got stabbed with a fruit knife. That's sad. Well, I don't know if a fruit knife is the same as a butter knife, but hey. I see. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, my face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. Ha ha ha. What will you do now, Mr. Pheonix Wright? It was very severe. How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Okay. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep. Sure it can be. One look at the wounds and you could come to the same conclusion, pal. A fool is a fool who will always listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter, then, which was first? Think a little more before you open that mouth of yours, Mr. Pheonix Wright. What a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the two murder weapons with me today. Okay. Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. Pistol, murder weapon, was grazed. 2 shots fired. Okay. 2 shots fired. I think that's a good thing to remember. 2 shots fired, bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. Knife, murder weapon, a small fruit knife, belongs to the phase, bears Maya's fingerprints. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes. Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the option of this court. It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Pheonix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change your justified self-defense? Because now would be a good time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I better think this through. Or think this through all the way. Plead not guilty, plead self-justified defense. I'm pleading not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we will basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have we reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal. Acquittal, whatever. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Eek! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Alright, let's see. Sorry, pal, but there's even more incriminating piece of evidence. There's a costume. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. I have to look at that again because I'm almost certain I saw a hole. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. There are blood splatters on it. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints are on both the murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Ha! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Okay. Let me have a look at this, alright. Let me have a look at the, evidence, or this real quick. Oh, never mind. I can't even look at it. Even more incriminating evidence is a ring at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. How do we know he couldn't fight back? He wasn't fighting back. How do you know if he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically. We're in real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her. I think I already know what it is. Because if 2 shots were fired, and one of them hit him, I think this alludes to the point I was talking about earlier. Blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the thing. Okay, so right here, this is what I was talking about earlier about this hole, right? So if 2 shots went off, one of them hit Gray, and the other one must have hit this, because as I was saying, like I said, 2 shots had to have gone off. Because it doesn't make sense if Gray had the gun and ended up shooting. Like, he could have shot first. Maya, or possessed Maya. I'm gonna just call her possessed Maya. Took the gun and shot him in the head or whatever. So I'm gonna use this.
Objection!
No? That makes sense though. Okay. Let me save here just in case. I'm not trying to get like that last trial where I only have one sliver of health. That. Blah 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 blah. As you can see, it's covered in blood. Let's see what he has to say here. There's blood on the costume. Lab results show that it's the victim's blood. Okay. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So were there any other good clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well, if you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Press further. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw off an objection like that. There's a hole there. Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright. Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time is up. So, about this costume. There's one little thing. Your Honor. Actually, there's something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is the problem you are talking about? I've come this far. There is no turning back now. The problem I have with this blah 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 present this. I ask the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I know we're getting to the juicy bit, but give me 1 second. Alright, y'all. I'm back. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must have been a bullet hole. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Order, order, order. This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. Press the check button for details. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. We're quiet now? Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Well, I agree. It is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. this evidence still stands. If you do not find any more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who wasn't fighting back. Okay, let me keep pressing everything and see if I find anything else. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kind of scary today, you know, pal. Come on now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Alright, just stop glaring at me like that. Okay, whatever. Okay. Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? Covered in blood. Yep. Alright, I'll give you that. The blood splatter is from the victim, but what is this hole in the sleeve? Sorry, pal. We must have thought it was a tear in the seam. Missing the hole is not what I'm asking you about. I'm talking about the hole itself. The smell of gunpowder clearly gives away that it is a bullet hole. As if little things like that matter. But they do. A bullet hole in the sleeve, blood splatter all over the costume. Neither of these things can change the fact that the defendant killed the victim. I know there's something more to this costume. Come now, detective. You're wasting precious time. Yes, sir. Okay, they're not giving me much else to work with. Check the thing. Okay, there's nothing but that hole there. The defendant who attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Hold on. I figured I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her. The defendant attacked and killed a person without a doubt was not fighting back. 2 shots fired. They had to have fought back if there are 2 shots fired. No?
Objection!
No. Okay. I have to show a sign that they're... Hold on. I have to find a critical contradiction somehow, and I'll have her. Is there anything I can show in profiles? The defendant and my client was arrested on suspicion of murdering while channeling. Had a malpractice incident, murdered during channeling. Let's see. The defendant was wearing, as you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. How do you know if she wasn't fighting back or not? The diagram isn't going to do anything. Can I use this in the trial? I don't know. 8 inches off the ground. It looks like a bullet hole. Hold on. Covered in blood. Costume. This? Hold on. I think I did this already and they said it was wrong. Yeah. Something about this has to make sense. Floor of the crime scene. Stabbed in the chest and shot at point blank. Gunpowder residue was found around the bullet hole. Bears Maya's fingerprints. Murder weapon. Here I am thinking I'm getting better at this game. Wasn't fighting back. Something about that. Hold on. Let me press that again. He wasn't fighting back. Blah, 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 blah. Getting on this. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. Stab on karma. Hold on. Profiles. Something to prove that he did fight back. Nothing in the Morgan Fay doesn't have an age. Okay. I'm not sure. Hold on. 1 year ago, this is about the surgical, this is about the clinic incident, the diagram. Mimi Meg Nursek died after falling asleep at the wheel. About 8 inches off the ground, looks like a small hole that looks like a bullet hole. Hold on. See, it's covered in blood. Even more pieces of incriminating evidence. Fighting back. What about the knife? Wouldn't she have to fight with the knife first?
Objection!
Nope. Alright, I'm gonna try the gun, and if that doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to start over. Nope. Alright. Here I am thinking I was doing something. I'll see y'all in a minute. Alright, y'all, I'm back where I was. I spent some time thinking about this as I was trying to get back to where I was. And the only thing that can make sense to me is the fact that there's a hole in Maya's clothing. Because there's a hole there. So I'm gonna try that.
Objection!
Really? That was it? Man, I've been making myself look real dumb on camera. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of weird, kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlook supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. That's what I was trying to say when with the hole in the wall. This is what it mean. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Pheonix Wright? Miss Von Karma. It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, is that only grounds that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected self-defense. They rejected justified self-defense plea and pleaded not guilty. Oh shit! Now that you, why, that's right. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Oh shit. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to sustain even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Ah! Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Dang. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Gumshoe out here getting bullied. You are too big to be out here getting bullied, bro. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her take a stab. The defendant saw her take a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were so too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. I'm gonna need to read that over again. This scenario you've put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface, it seems to make sense. It does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, the cross-examination, please. Alright, let's get to it. During the challenge. How can you prove that? There was quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength and it's unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Pheonix Wright? My FA was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Kurain channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, that defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Kurain channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two took out his gun. The victim took a shot. Oh, there. How could he miss if he was too close? So you were saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when the shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. The defendant picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun and ended it. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it, just by pulling the trigger. Even me? I wonder. Now do you understand? Abon Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering is going to uncover the truth. And I can feel it. Okay, what do I have? I feel like it has something to do with this hole. Victim used the life of his strength to fight back. Alright, I want to see what this is talking about. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly would you say he was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day. And afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Ah! Sorry. I took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the gun, and ended it. Hold key. 8 inches off the ground. I still think it has something to do with this thingamajig, because none of the rest of the stuff makes sense. We're too close. 8 inches off the ground. I'm gonna present this.
Objection!
Nope. Alright, let me... I think I pressed everything, but I'm gonna see anyway. Took a shot. You can see it's too close. He missed. Uncover the truth. Stabbed him in his chest. Did I get this already? Oh yeah, I did this. The difference in height. The channeling technique. The victim used the last of his strength to fight back. Took out his gun. Hold on. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for that day. But a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precaution against something? Precaution. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. He pulled out his gun and ended it. Golly. Never fired a gun in her life. Blase, blase, blase. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, he took out his gun. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired, bearing Maya and Gray's fingerprints. Belongs to the phase, bears Maya's fingerprints. Hold on. Last bit strength to fight back. That last bit has to be the defendant picked up on the... Okay, hold on. During the channeling, saw a chance to stab the victim. Hold on. This belongs to the phase. Okay. This is hard, man. After using the last of his strength to fight. I don't even know why I'm yawning. It's 8 at night. The victim took a shot, but it close. He clearly missed. What did you say about this? So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Why is she so quiet? She's quiet for a reason. Hold on. The victim took a shot, but it was mid, and he missed. What about this? It's something. It has to have something to do with that wall. That wall has to have something to do with this. I can't think of anything else. No. I don't know, y'all. Old key. That looks like a bullet hole. The victim took a shot. Picked it up on opening, took the victim's gun and ended it. Let me read this again. His testimony clearly makes sense, makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. His last of his strength to fight back. The victim took a shot, but they were so close he missed. Okay. No. Fame Manor. No. No. Floor plans. That's not gonna do anything. Wait. The autopsy. Wait. Stabbed in the chest, then shot. The victim was shot, but because they were so close, he missed. The diagram do anything? The autopsy report? Stabbed in... Wait. The victim took a shot. Hold on. Let me read this. The two were fight... Hold on. Saw a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two... Wait, the last of his strength... Used the last of his strength to fight back. But how can he use the last of his strength to fight back and take out his gun? Then shot. This is confusing. The victim pulled out his gun. The victim took a shot, but so close that he missed. The autopsy report? Stabbed in the chest. I don't know. I'm gonna select something. Yeah, I don't know. Yep. Picked up the gun and ended it. Pull out his gun. Would this do anything? Oh! Okay. It was the thing again. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Eh? What do you mean? This little hole actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two holes of them were... The two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? It's on the arm. Gunpowder burn? This is where this is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder. Oh, okay. So he shot from a distance, or from a distance. But there are not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Pheonix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And then when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well, then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Contradict and think. Something doesn't make sense. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Yow! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts that line of thinking. The floor plans? Hold on. Because this room is pretty small. At least to me. Hold on. Put some distance between them. 8 inches off the ground. Looks like a bullet hole. I'm still on this piece of evidence, y'all. I'm sorry. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point to the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low toward the ground. You got some pretty bad aim if that's the case. Order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of this crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. And the bullet hit the folding... Oh, shit. It hit this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Here. Somewhere around here. Uh-oh. The judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. That is... Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, why don't you think about what you... What?! What's done is done for now. I should focus on where Maya was in the crime scene. She had to be, like, here. Wait, if it went through her, she'd have to be, like, here then. Man. Whatever. Give me a second. I'm gonna come back. Alright, y'all, I'm back. To whatever this is. So... And the only place I can think of is in this vicinity here, so I'm gonna say here. Somewhere around here. Nope. Let me save real quick so I don't have to go so far. Crap, I can't. For them to be... For it to hit this, she'd have to be... here. Nope. Let me save here. So I don't have to go so far. Here? I'm confused. Y'all, give me a second. I'm back. And after looking at this map for maybe half an hour, the only thing that makes sense is here. I'm not even isn't that where that plant is? That don't make sense, but this is the last thing I could come up with. The music stopped, so I'm assuming this is right. Okay, this is ridiculous, man. This don't make no sense. It has to be in this area for this to make sense. Thank you! That's what I was on about. Okay. Wait a second! We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of the costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Pheonix Wright. You! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Yes. Honestly, Your Honor, it changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of this trial should be in the Bro, you have more? I'm tired. I've been recording for like an hour. Blast radius of disaster. You're such a smart man, Mr. Pheonix, right? To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How's it all my fault? To start by preparing your standing you can start by repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lada. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Oh, God. Okay. Yes, please save. Thank God. Okay, so... Alright, so it looks like we're getting to the second half of this trial, and hopefully everything will finally come to. But yeah. You'd think that they would be sitting in front of each other, but no. I guess it kind of makes sense for Maya to be sitting off to the side because excuse me, because from where she's originally sitting, she wouldn't have gotten the bullet off to her right hand side or her left hand side, um, to hit the bullet where it hit the frame. But boy, this trial. Why did I have to be against Von Karma? Why couldn't I bring Edgeworth back? I can't remember what happened last time. It's been a minute since I played this game, and it's been a while to see how it ended. So I'm probably gonna watch it back and see what's what. But I did what I did for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like what you see and want more of Pheonix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And next episode, we're gonna bring a lot of heart into this equation. I wonder if Eenie Meenie is gonna be a part of this thing too, because her sisters and her deceased sister is now involved. But we're gonna see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Right, girl, it's your hair.